Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I have a question, and it's something I've been thinking about pretty much throughout most of the day. Gladys. Now, we know that when she came to this town, she was an absolute train wreck. And I'm gonna be honest, she used to annoy the living hell out of me. Olivia has obviously taken that place, but my point is, Gladys was annoying the living hell out of me. The thing is, and it's funny too, because Gladys made like this offhand comment about her spicing things up. When she was with Brando and Sasha, she was like, oh, something, I don't know if she was referring to herself or somebody, but she was like, I think she was referring to herself as far as spicing stuff up. The reason why I sit there and say that is because Brando and Sasha has become just pointless characters. Pointless characters. And as annoying as Gladys is, and she is annoying, she does, I guess, spice things up. Yeah, in this weird way. Because it is sad, too, because it's like, all right, you have to be sort of trashy in order to spice stuff up. I feel like we're back in the 90s, but the reason I'm saying that is because, well, Gladys was actually being, like, decent and concerning. And this brings up a question. Would you rather have Gladys, the usual, um, hmm, couldn't come up with a nice adjective for it. Trashy, how she usually is, always stirring up trouble, always stirring up the pot, or do you want to see her, um, in more of a like she's actually being somewhat of a decent person, and and I know I'm gonna regret this. Oh my goodness, I know I'm gonna regret this, but I kind of prefer her to be the stirring the pot, annoying character that she is. Um, because let's be honest, when Brando came to town, I actually liked Brando, and I still do for the most part. And same thing with Sasha. When she came to town, I actually liked Sasha. But the minute that I'm not gonna lie, the minute that she broke up with Michael and got together with Brando, at first people liked the idea, but then I think that most people just kind of realized that they are just boring as hell. Um, and I don't know if I want Gladys to be. I mean, clearly, she's still sitting there extorting Brooklyn and um, talking about Brooklyn and just being the usual person that she is. But I was not there wondering about that. Now, I personally kind of want her to stay how she is. Um, it's so bad. Like, here's the thing. She's a terrible mother. She outed Dev to a mob kingpin. After she got shot, she decided to try to shack up with another mob kingpin. Um, she has poor decision making skills. She has poor people skills. Um, she's annoying, but yet she's not boring. And it's kind of weird to sit there and say, but let me know what your thoughts are on, do you want Gladys to be redeemed, or do you want her to be the usual, you know, trashy woman that she is? I don't. It's kind of weird because I feel like trashy is kind of um, like overdoing it, you know? Like I mean, she did kind of rat out Dev, so I guess I can sit there and put her in the trashy part. But or do you want it to be a mixture of the two? Do you want it to still have a little bit of that stirring up the pot, but also kind of redeem herself a little bit? I mean, she was, even after Brando, pretty much rescued them. Gladys stayed there to try to keep her company, to try to keep her distracted. You know, she seemed like she was actually being kind of a decent person. Of course, she did tell Brooklyn, like, hey, listen, you went too far, because she's assuming that Brooklyn was the one that locked them all in the closet, or the storage room, or wherever they were. Because she was the last person that, you know, um, she was the last person that Gladys did see, so I can understand where that came from. Sonny and Alexis, this sound like a broken record. So, did anyone actually find any value between the scenes between Sonny and Alexis? Other than the fact that, it's good for them to kind of reconnect and see each other and catch up. That was nice, but, like, besides that, I don't know. I just found them to be kind of pointless being there. I mean, yeah, it was nice, but, like, it was just, I don't know. I found them to be kind of pointless. In this episode. And like when I started sitting there like writing my notes and stuff like that, because I put people like in a category like 1, 2, 3, 4, usually in a group or whatever. And I'm just like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be one of those episodes. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like them just pointless being together. They talked about Christina, so okay. And of course, we haven't seen her there. You know what? Since we're sitting there talking about Sonny, I know a lot of people know, but he has a channel called State of Mind. And, oh, Maurice Benard, so, I guess he's doing like this video conference or whatever, with some kids. And they're talking about wrestling, and they're talking about John Cena. And I don't know if anyone saw that, but if they did, I'm like, Maurice, you might want to kind of just like bring it down a little bit. This guy, for some odd reason, was like, I can beat John Cena in a boxing match. Hell, I can beat John Cena and The Rock in a boxing match. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know if you can. Listen, I'm not saying that Maurice doesn't have power, but compared to John Cena and The Rock, who are like professional bodybuilders and like, this is their thing, this is what they do. Particularly with The Rock, I don't really see that. I really don't see that. And it was also just one of those things where it's like, I could sit there and beat them in a boxing match. I was like, okay, well, can you beat him in a fight? No? Alright, you might want to kind of just bring it down a little bit. I mean, I like you cool, and, I saw a little bit of your, boxing videos, but, you start challenging people online, you're not like small YouTuber or whatever. Like, people know who you are. Anyway, for me, I felt like their scenes was entirely pointless. Now, let's talk about Carly and Phyllis for a minute, because, Carly is upset about the time that was taken away from her, and, Sonny, because of Nina and her actions. In the beginning, she's all like, let's get to know each other and stuff like that. Now, what I find so interesting, because, she moved out the Metro Court and she wanted to just, live in the room or whatever. Simple, blah, 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 blah. Now, what I find kind of funny, well, not even really funny, what I find actually kind of messed up, because let's be honest. So, remember way back when in Nixon Falls, when Phyllis knew that Mike was married to someone else? And yet, granted, he kept saying that he didn't care, blah, 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 that's my whole life. But she seemed like she was doing everything in her power to push Sonny and Nina together, knowing that he was married. And now you're sitting there looking her straight in her face And I'm just like, if Carly knew what you were trying to do, I'm pretty sure the friendly, nice atmosphere kind of talk would just go right out the window. And to be honest, I can't wait till that happens because even when she got to the house and then she sees her at the bar and she's like, oh, let's sit there and talk or whatever. It was like, oh, okay, cool. So Phyllis, you got anything you want to sit there and, kind of share with the classroom? I'm pretty sure you got something. Um, but yeah, she talks about Nina and how much time that she lost, and because of that, like Sonny's kind of a stranger to her, and I understand that to some extent, but I'm also just like, here's the thing. This isn't the first time that she's like, I feel like I don't know you. I feel like there's another part of you that I don't know. And I'm just like, is it my imagination or does she just come across as a bit ungrateful? Just a little bit. I mean, the constant complaining, like, oh, you had another life. I don't know you. This other Mike person in the clothes that you're wearing. I'm just like, he's back home. My goodness. And it's like you're still sitting there find these little things to sit there and complain about. Oh, you're wearing all this. You're wearing plaid. You're not sitting there wearing your usual business suit. It's like, my goodness, seriously? Like that little. And when she was doing it today, and she was sitting there talking about how she doesn't really know him, and he's kind of different. And I'm just like, and he's back home, and he's alive, and you are just complaining. Like, I'm sorry, but those comments just kind of fall on deaf ears. Like, um, now Phyllis is like, everyone's kind of moved on, and kind of going about their lives. Do you really feel like it's worth it? To sit there and hold on to that anger and resentment, which is, it's it's somewhat true. It is true. I'm not gonna lie. It is true. I do have a hard time just kind of letting things go. Um, I do tend to hold grudges. I do. I've tried to be better over the years, but yeah. So I understand where Carly's coming from. It is not easy to sit there and let go of that anger. Now, speaking of Nina, so Nina sees Wiley and Willow in the park, or I should sit there and say new Wiley. Runs up to Nina's all like, Grandma, I want to hug you and everything like that. So they start hugging, and then Nina's like, oh, wait, I've done bad things. Maybe I shouldn't, I shouldn't, like, I should just go. So she starts to talk about how she's going to be going and leaving and crying and stuff like that. And Wiley wants her to stay. And Willow's like, you know what, listen, why don't you just kind of hang out here for a little bit? So she allows a little bit of time into, I guess, the nanny, whatever, comes by, or daycare. Somebody comes by and picks them up. And, Nina's all grateful and she's crying and stuff like that. And I'm like, Nina, besides the fact that I just don't like you in general, um, because of the whole Willow Tate thing, like, besides the fact that I just don't like you, even if I did like you, even if I did have a monocle of compassion, you did this to yourself. All these tears, everything, this is all on you. So, even me trying my best, I, I, I got nothing for you. I really don't. Um, Willow was like, yo, listen, I only did that for Wiley. We ain't cool. Um, you know, like I'm not gonna let him pay for what you did, but I totally agree with Michael. Like I stand by him. Um, and Nina's all like, oh well, I hope I don't cause any friction between you and you and Michael. And then there was one thing that she said. She was like, oh, I didn't think about the kids. When the whole Nixon falls and me keeping Sonny away, I didn't really sit there and think about the kids. I was like, you didn't think about the. And this is in a lot of ways why that was such a poorly written story, because as much as I don't like Nina, I gotta sit there and wonder, like, they did this. They originally kept, like Nina originally kept Sonny away from everyone because of Carly. But then the longer it passed, the worse it got, and she felt guilty. But, like, I mean, seriously? You didn't think about Wiley at that time? Like, really? I, part of me wants to then believe that the story was just written badly. It was written badly. It was plot over everything else. Um, and Nina could not have been that stupid or that heartless. But then again, this is the same woman that tried to get a kindergarten teacher fired because the kindergarten teacher was doing their job. So, yeah. Um, yeah. So they do want to filing. They do want to finding Don. I mean, they do want to finding Leo. Everyone's they're searching. You got Esmere. You got Spencer. You got everyone there. They're all searching. And then Ned knows most likely where he's at. Um, so they find him at the docks, and he's just kind of just laying down or whatever. And Olivia, talks to him. It's like, why'd you do this? Like, why'd you go? And Ned says something, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is true. As far as people that are on the spectrum, they like water and stuff like that. Something that he learned about people that have autism, really helped when it came towards finding Leo. So, she's grateful and she's thankful and she's also afraid. Um, now, not being able to find your child is probably a parent's second worst nightmare. Okay? You all know the first one. I'm not going to say it, but it's it's high up there. Okay? I would sit there and say it's almost like first, but not really first. Point is, it's a parent's, among a parent's worst nightmares. So, I felt for Olivia, despite how she vexes me, I felt for her. And even after, she's there saying that she's afraid, she's worried and stuff like that. And the whole time it's because she's been operating on fear. She's been letting fear dictate, how she went about treatment with Leo, her marriage, even Austin, the way that she pushed people away every time people were snitching trying to give her advice. She's been acting out of fear. And because she's been acting out of fear, she was about to sit there and literally throw away her marriage. Um, Now I'm gonna give this woman a reprieve today because regardless how I feel about any character or any person in real life, um, you know, not finding a child is just you know. Now I say that, and I'm not a parent, but one day, if I ever get that privilege, that is just. I mean, let's be honest. I don't even want to own an animal because they get lost, they get hurt. I can't like that's magnitude by 1,000 with a child. Um, like you want to put like a GPS like in the book bag or on their phone, kind of like that's how I'm sitting there looking at the whole thing. But the point is, I'm giving her a reprieve today because she went through something that's, mm, um, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sad because now it's hitting her about what she needs to do moving forward with Leo, how she needs to sit there and handle it with with Ned. But I'm just gonna let it go on that note. So Maxie and Austin. Maxie isn't there, trying to defend Brooklyn, wondering why is Austin hanging out with Gladys. And basically the whole thing is that she wants a ceasefire because she feels that she's going to be collateral damage. Now we all know the real reason why, but she sits there and tries to talk to him, tries to defend him. Because here's the thing: when Maxie came into the hospital, she can tell that Austin was a little kind of vexed by her. And so, she kind of wanted to be there to kind of like, hey, listen, let's just talk about this, let's work this out or whatever. And long story short, she got Austin to kind of like back down a little bit as far as Brooklyn, and also not really, I guess, try to seek out Gladys. Like if Gladys walks into her, fine, but him, fine, but other than that, he's not sitting there trying to seek her out. Um, and honestly, tell you the truth, this is all rude to sit there and try to practically cover her own ass, with very good intentions. So now, one thing I should sit there and mention is when Alexis is there talking to Sonny, Alexis is like, you seem like you're a lot more nicer, you're more mellowed out. Um, Now, I remember somebody in the comment section saying that, they may try to blend the two personalities together as far as Sonny and Mike goes. Because Maurice Benard is a method actor and Sonny's a dark character. Maurice Benard has bipolar. And so it's a lot to sit there and deal with, and he talked about how he enjoy being Mike as opposed to being Sonny. So maybe I feel like this is a way to sit there and kind of appease, let's be honest, keep his sanity and not be so miserable playing such a dark character, but also giving the fans what they want. So honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm cool with it. I am. I always sit there and think back to what Sonny said to Claudia Zacchara years ago when he cornered her, and they talked about because Claudia had a miscarriage, and Sonny says something so dark that even as a fan, because I was such a huge fan, even like back then when I was watching it, I was like, Jesus Christ, like the way he was in there talking like, oh, I'm happy that he's gone, and this, that, and the third, and I was like, wow, that's like you say a comment like that. That's dark because on some sort of level that had to hurt him as well. Um, so I'm cool with them blending the characters together. I feel like I'm missing so many damn people. Oh, and Esmer plays the usual games by trying to make Trina jealous by kissing Spencer. And, it's one of those things, it's like, Trina, this only causing you as much pain as you're allowing. You said that you're ready to sit there and quit Spencer and just kind of just doing your own thing. But yet you're sitting there looking at Spencer and you're getting all hurt because Esmer is being... No, hold on. Because one of my subscribers, because I kept messing up her name, and I feel like there's two reasons why. One, I could have swore I heard somebody else say Esmer, and it's not Esmer, it's Esme, which, to be honest, and I said this in the comment section, sounds even stupider when I say it like that. Point is, she's sitting there playing games, and Trina is more or less kind of taking a bait. Oh, and also Ava was there, like pretty much a lot of the other characters, because somehow that made sense. I feel like that's about it for the most part. If I forgot anything, please write it down in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.